Alright guys, so this is everything you're going to need here. You got your 30 milliliter disposable syringe. You got your feeding tube, which if I'm not mistaken, this is a 5FR, which means it's one of the bigger sizes because the puppies, as they get a little older, you know, you can use a little larger feeding tube. For newborn puppies, I usually start with a 3FR. And then as they get a little older, because their tongues get stronger and they can push it out of the way, so as they get a little older, you want to use little thicker ones. And then you got your empty glass. That's going to be for your warm water, and that's for when you have the new feeding tubes. You want to soak them in warm water. It softens it up. It helps it go down the throat a little easier. And you got your marker, and your markers are going to be to put a mark on your feeding tube. So you know, you measure from the front of the dog's muzzle to the stomach. You put a mark where the stomach is, so you know you're not going down too far or not far enough or whatever, you know, so you know you're in the right area, because you want to be careful you don't push it in too far and it can start coming back up their throat and the milk could wind up choking them out. That's the main thing you want to stay away from is choking the puppies, because when they're that young they don't have much of an immune system, so you got to be very careful of that. And then we got the Pet Egg Milk Replacer Plus. You know, when they're a little younger, I use S-Black, but as they get a little older, I use just the Pet Egg Milk Replacer Plus. I use the liquid because the powder tends to choke the puppies up, get stuck in their noses and whatever, gets caked up in their noses and stuff. So I like to use the liquid, the premix. And then we got our blue gloves, obviously, to you know, be sanitary about everything. But that's everything you're going to need right there. Alright guys, as you can see, this little girl, she's not doing too good. She's starting to fade. So we're going to tube feed her. Let me show you how it's done. I mix a little antibiotics in the milk for her to try to get her back. But unfortunately, if you breed dogs, this is part of breeding dogs. You know, you're gonna lose puppies. You know, don't let it get you too upset. You know, but all right. Now here, you take your feeding tube, and now you measure from the dog's snout back to their stomach area. You know, estimate. And you take your marker here. You put your mark on here so you know how far you're going down. And you know, one thing I forgot, you always want to keep a blue bulb on hand, just in case they do spit something back up, block their nose up, you're choking, whatever. You can suck it out with this. You always squeeze first, and you put it in, let it suck out. You don't ever squeeze it into the puppy's mouth, ever. Now, take your syringe, full of puppy's milk. You can find charts on Google that teach you, you know, teach you how, like, you weigh the dog, and it'll teach you how much you feed them at one time, so you don't overfeed them. Make sure you get all the air bubbles out of the feeding tube. Now, this is the tricky part right here. Now, the dog's gonna struggle. Just hold on to it the best you can. You know, I try to hold it around its head here. It's not gonna open its mouth, so just, you know, force its mouth open to get the tube in there. Now they're gonna try to shut their throat. When it hits their throat, you just keep pushing it down. They'll try biting down on the, you know, on the tube. Anything to stop it from going on their throat. I imagine it can't be a comfortable feeling for them. You know, so see, as you see, she's starting to struggle a bit. But just take your time, you know, don't rush them. Don't put the milk in too fast. You see, slowly just give it to them slowly, just so it doesn't upset their stomach. You know, it gives time for gas bubbles to get out, air bubbles rather. See, usually once it starts going in their stomach, they'll relax a little bit. I guess they can feel the warmth. You gotta make sure the milk is warm. Not too hot, not too cold. because you know, when they're this young, it's hard for them to regulate their body temperature. So you always gotta make sure you keep everything you give them the right temperature. And that's how it's done, guys. It's that easy. It takes 2 seconds. You know, if you need to give them milk